Hey everyone! Alien X isn't actually the strongest being in Ben 10 like we all thought. There are entities far beyond his power level. But wait, didn't the director say Alien X is the strongest and nothing can surpass him? Yeah, but did he say the strongest alien in the Omnitrix or the strongest being in the universe, or did he mean his species is the strongest? In this video, we're going to find out whether Alien X is truly the most powerful being, or just an overhyped balloon. Before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe. And let's jump right in. First off, the Ben 10 universe has 26 spatial dimensions, according to the Cosmic Mother. Humans live in the third dimension, length, width, and height. If you add another dimension, that's time, and you can move freely through it. The higher the dimension, the more complex things become. But higher dimensions don't always mean stronger beings. According to Azimuth, there are 17 levels of existence, and yes, the higher level beings are indeed stronger. Each level represents a different kind of reality, like the dimension of Ben 23 and the other alternate Bens. Now let's talk about the most powerful beings in the Ben 10 multiverse, the Contumelia. The Contumelia are 5-dimensional beings. They exist across length, width, height, time, and an unknown 5th dimension that we'll explain later. Because they exist in the 5th dimension, 3D beings like humans can't see their true form. Instead, they appear as whatever the observer loves most, like how Ben saw them as Mr. Smoothie Drinks, and Rook saw them as his father. The Contumelia have existed since the dawn of creation. They're rumored to be extinct, but they're still out there. Their purpose? They create entire dimensions with their technology, and if they don't like what they've made, they use the Annihilarg to destroy those same dimensions. They're completely neutral, not good or evil, just observers. They never interfere, even if the events could destroy their own plans. Their ship has appeared multiple times in the series. Once, it was seen drifting between universes, carrying the Annihilarg. Another time, Ben, Rook, and Malware entered a Contumelia ship and met 3 of them. They were about to activate the Annihilarg, explained their purpose, and acknowledged Ben and Rook's presence. They didn't interfere in the battle, just watched. When Ben completed his mission, they expressed admiration for him, and then Paradox appeared to take Ben back. So that's the surface level of their power. Now let's go deeper. There are also the Nalgans, the race that the Cosmic Mother belongs to. She's the one who said the Ben 10 multiverse has 26 spatial dimensions. This actually fits real-world physics, like the bosonic string theory, which says that every decision you make creates a new universe. For example, if you choose answer A on a test instead of B, a new universe forms where you chose B, and your entire life unfolds differently. So, in Ben 10, dimensions represent different spaces or universes, not necessarily different power levels. That means the Nalgans, despite existing in the 26th dimension, aren't automatically stronger than the 5D Contumelia. Now let's talk about space itself, the vast realm that contains all dimensions, levels, and universes. There's something called the Map of Infinity, a complete chart of all space-time. It was used to travel to the home of the Celestial Sapiens, who exist on level 17. Not in another universe, but within Ben's own. It's also stated that the Celestial Sapiens are the most powerful species in the cartoon. But here's the catch. Their power is limited. Wait, what? The director said they're the strongest. Yes, but let's analyze that later. Celestial Sapiens exist in level 17, which is 17D space. They are still 4-dimensional beings. We can see them. They exist in time and space, and can manipulate both. But since they're 4D, they're still bound by space-time. The 5th dimension, however, is the molecular dimension, where you can exist in 2 places at once, not as copies, but as the same being. Think of Echo Echo. He can split into duplicates, but those are separate versions, not the same individual. Could Ultimate Echo Echo exist simultaneously in multiple universes? Of course not. Can Alien X do that? Absolutely not. If he could, Ben would have transformed into Alien X and instantly traveled to level 17 instead of needing Paradox, who, by the way, exists outside space-time. So, Alien X is the strongest below level 17. The Map of Infinity only reaches up to level 17, but according to bosonic string theory, There are infinite levels beyond that. So, is Alien X the most powerful character? Not really. Paradox and many others describe Alien X as omnipotent, but that omnipotence is limited to a certain scope of infinity. It's like comparing Aleph 0 to Aleph 1. Aleph 0 is a countable infinity, like stars, galaxies, and planets. Aleph 1 is an uncountable infinity, like numbers themselves. Can you tell me the biggest number? Of course not. It doesn't exist. That's the difference between the celestial sapiens and the contumelia. The celestial sapiens control infinite universes, but only within their own reality, level 17. That's like having a remote that controls an infinite number of screens, but only of the same model. Meanwhile, the contumelia's Aleph 1 infinity allows them to control every kind of screen across every reality, each with infinite channels inside. That's the gap between 17D celestial sapiens and 5D contumelia. The contumelia transcend space-time and wield technology capable of creating or erasing entire dimensions. Their power is truly limitless. Now let's briefly talk about Professor Paradox. He was once a scientist whose experiment went wrong, sending him outside space-time for ages. That gave him immense knowledge and the ability to travel through time and dimensions freely. He's usually the one who saves the Ben 10 universe. Despite this, he often appears to have limited power. Similar to Alien X, that's because Paradox deliberately restricts himself from interfering too much, so he doesn't alter timelines. He usually guides Ben instead of fighting directly, because even a small mistake could tear the fabric of reality. His actual powers are insane. He can freeze time, rewrite physical laws, and even invented new forms of physics that entire universes follow. He's also considered the strongest magician in the universe, since he created Alpha Rune, the foundation of all magic. His tool, the Chrono Navigator, lets him travel anywhere, across time, dimensions, and levels. If misused, it could erase all existence. Celestial sapiens actually hate Paradox, since he's the one who moved their species to the edge of the universe. He even managed to collect their DNA and gave it to Osmuth for the Omnitrix, leading to his trial and a peace treaty that prevents either side from attacking the other. Could they have destroyed him? Probably not. Paradox exists beyond their reality, and erasing him would harm the entire universe. So even though celestial sapiens have greater combat power, Paradox's transcendence and intelligence make him untouchable. They're essentially equals under different rules. Back to the cosmic mother species, often called the Nalgins. That name isn't actually theirs. It came from a child's toy in their universe called the Nalgin Destroyer. People named the race after it by mistake. Their true species is unknown. We only know they exist around the 26th dimension and use highly advanced technology. Around level 20, same as the Omnitrix. The Contumelia's tech, by contrast, is beyond level 20. The Cosmic Mother can travel between dimensions, move objects with her mind, and is millions of years old. Her daughter is over 3 million years old. So for now, her power remains undefined. Finally, back to the Contumelia. The writers confirmed that the Ben 10 multiverse follows bosonic string theory, meaning there are infinite dimensions. That means a single Contumelia is far beyond Alien X. The director saying the celestial sapiens are the strongest species is still true, but only as a collective within their domain. If Alien X fought one Contumelia one-on-one, the Contumelia would easily win. Remember when Ben entered the Contumelia ship? They said no one could break their barrier, yet Alien X did it effortlessly. That shows his power works perfectly within his 17-level range. But beyond that, against 5D beings who exist outside space-time, he's powerless, and that's the truth. One final note. No one can obtain a Contumelia DNA sample. They have no fixed form, and the Omnitrix can't contain beings that exist beyond dimensions. So here's the big question. Since Paradox also exists outside space-time, can he see the Contumelia's true form? Or does he too see them as what he loves most? What do you think? Leave your answer in the comments. And that's the end of the video. See you next time.